Hi, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Something Else podcast. My name is Gabriella, and of course, there are no guests. For today, at least, this is another installment of the solo series. I want to give you guys a little bit more content to kind of like get to know me, know the host, know a little bit about how I think, what I have to say, yada yada, the usual. This topic for today was kind of inspired by something that happened. And one of my friends was like, you should talk about how toxic internet clout culture is. And I was like, that's so true. Because honestly, let's be 100% for real right now. It's just me and you today. It's just me and you. Is nobody else in here? Nobody else. The internet is not a real place. Like, if no one told you that, the internet is not a real place. Granted, some people are actually living the life that they portray on the internet, a very small percentage. But the rest of them, God knows, it's Ken and Barbie's dream house on there. It's not a real place. And there's really this disease, shall I call it, an epidemic of imposters, people who portray themselves to be something on the internet that they are not. I'm not talking about the flexers. I'm not talking about people who say they have this and they don't have that. I'm talking about the people, the trolls, the people who make a fake username, put a fake page, put a fake picture, and literally intentionally go and antagonize people unprovoked. And it's just strange. Okay, so just a little backstory, and I'm not going to dwell on this too long because I'm really not going to give a gremlin no screen time. It ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen with me. I'm just saying. But I posted a video and someone left a comment and they called me ugly. And granted, it really doesn't matter because ugly, I don't know her. I've never seen her. I don't know who she is. Never felt her. Me and her don't know each other. We're not even in the same neighborhood, babes. I'm so sorry. People see you with a hat, no makeup on, you're just relaxing, you're in your element, and they get to call you ugly. Babes, I'm pretty without makeup. The makeup is just an enhancement. That's just what it always was. Not going to spend too long with that either. Because, again, the catalog, the receipts, the proof is in the pudding. So I was shocked. I was like, oh, okay, well, that's interesting. That was like my first real interaction, like where someone kind of just said something else, kind of like, ooh, you kind of ugly in the spirit. You don't got a good heart. It's kind of cold and dusty in there. But I think we need to also highlight that people can be anybody they want on the internet. That's why I'm like, the internet is not a real place. These apps, the Twitters, the Instagrams, the YouTubes, like the Twitches, the TikToks, people can be anybody they want to be. And they can say anything they want to say. And it's like, wait a second. Because honestly, some people go and post nasty things and they say things that you know for a fact you would never ever fix your mouth to say this to this person on the street, because you know all 32 of them teeth would be going down the drain. So it's like, why even articulate and say things that are just harmful to someone just because you're behind a computer screen? But of course, free speech. People can say whatever they want to say, They can be who they want to be. It's whatever at that point. But I thought that's kind of strange because with the way internet culture is, it's toxic now. Like, I honestly always thought, like, oh, wow, like the internet is like a tool. Like, it's so great. And you could think about how many lives the internet has changed, social media. Oh my gosh. It's just crazy to think the power that technology has. But of course, we know there's always like downsides and there's always upsides. We all know that. But the culture that social media has nowadays is so toxic. And people can say, oh, yeah, it's just an app and I log out. And then they open it 5 minutes later. At that point, girl, we know you have an addiction. But it's so crazy. Like, people will like literally go under other people's like pictures, photos, and say something like really crazy in order to get the person to comment back and keep going back and forth. It's like they get a thrill. They get like a adrenaline rush out of antagonizing someone. Seek help. Seek help right now. Go right now to a psychiatrist immediately. Not yesterday, not 2 weeks ago, right now. Go and get some help for that. That's sick. That is sick. Like, there's a saying, and we've all heard it. If you have nothing nice to say, shut it. Like, just keep those little lips closed. Because it's like, why even spew hatred out of your mouth because you're having a miserable day? I get it. The internet, the blogs, it's like an outlet where you can express yourself. This is my outlet where I can express myself. But when people strangely go and do actions that are just, it just makes you look at a person like, are you okay? Like the whole clout chasing phenomenon. Like, that's a real thing. Like, are we okay as a society? What is going on? There is a moral erosion. I don't like, do y'all understand how scary that is? There is a moral erosion. There is a erosion of character that is happening right before our eyes, where people will consciously, like, I'm talking about eyes wide open, like these. They're not drunk, they're not high. They will consciously, soberly go and do something just completely asinine that makes you think, are you okay? What's happening with you? Because we need to figure out what is going on with you. And they will do it just so that a whole bunch of strangers on an app can validate their existence. We're going to let that sink in. So you're waiting for user 03156 and user Mrs. Polly D loves Patty K to come and give you some likes and some comments to tell you, oh my gosh, that was so funny when you did something that was just completely just stupid. What is going on? What is happening? What is going on up here? What's upstairs? Knock, knock on the head. It's empty. What is going on? Like, what is literally happening? Like, as a society, what's going on, babes? What's happening? And I get it. Like, okay, we're all thinking like, oh, like everyone wants to be like viral and everyone, you know, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's happening? What is happening? I'm like, wait a second. Sometimes go outside and touch some grass. Go outside and let the sun hit your face. Uninstall that app from your phone for a weekend. Go outside. Uninstall that app from your phone for a weekend. Go hang out with your family. Look at the sky and think, wow, there's so many clouds, because we can get so caught up in this. Like, okay, let me check it. Like, even sometimes when I am like off social media, just taking a little hiatus, I will like pick up my phone and the app is not on my phone. And I'm like, Gabriella, go get some help. Yes, you. Go get some help. Because what's happening? It's like you get so accustomed to picking up this phone and looking and consuming. It's like, it can get like, you're like literally caught up in a loop, and it gets toxic. I think that there is a culture of making people feel bad to make oneself feel good. That is never going to solve anything. If you have to put somebody down to make yourself feel good, like, you gotta look in the mirror. Like, I mean, like, really take a hard look in the mirror. And some people can't look in the mirror at themselves because it makes them uncomfortable. But if you're watching this, try that as an exercise. Go in the mirror and just look at yourself and just stare at yourself. If you have a hard time looking at yourself, there may need to be some introspection and some self-reflection going on to figure out what's going on. You got to go on the internet to say things to people and, oh my God, I'm going to say this. Like, some people actually read their comments. And I'm one of the people who I read my comments because I like to interact with people. I like to talk. I'm like, oh, okay, wow, this person is watching. Oh, that's interesting. But when I think about people who have a high influx of just nasty comments, I'm like, dang, how do you do this? I'm like, how can you absorb all of this? That's why some of these people who quote unquote famous celebrities, they be out of touch with their supporters and things like that because people are sick in the mind. I mean, they see you on the internet and be like, oh, she has, I don't know, 200K followers. She's not going to see if I call her a piece of crap or I call her child ugly. You never know. That person might see that. And then it's like, what is wrong with this person? Like, you're sick in the mind. What's going on? What's happening? Like, whatever happened to like moral values, character values? Like, it is so cool to be kind. It's not always easy to be kind, but it's actually really cool. Like, when somebody says, oh my gosh, like, you're so sweet, you're so kind, that's just like a top tier compliment for me. And it kind of makes me sad because it's like, what do you mean I'm kind? Like, isn't that a normal thing? Okay, story time. So I went to watch Black Panther a month after it came out. Applause. Yes, I'm late. And I went to AMC. I'm an AMC girl. I'm so sorry. And then the one that I like to go to has stadium style seating with like the reclined seats. I love it. AMC, if you see this, sponsor me, babes. But yeah, I went to AMC and I ordered some chicken tenders and an icy. You know, I love me a slushy, girl. Well, not girl, because there's guys watching this too. So, everyone. But yeah, so I ordered a slushy and I ordered some chicken tenders. And the guy was like, I'm so sorry. We're out of chicken tenders. I'm so sorry. Like, oh my gosh. Like, I'll try to give you something else on the menu. Like, I really apologize. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. What else you guys got? And then he was like, oh, we have mozzarella sticks. And then he's like, I can, give you some extra, yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, we could work something out. So if we could do mozzarella sticks and some fries. And he was like, yes, of course. And then I was like, okay, that's fine. And then he gave me like some mozzarella sticks and some fries, and I got my icy. And he was like, again, thank you so much. Like, I really appreciate it. And I'm like, who done verbally abused you today? But when you think about it, people are really sick. I'm pretty sure if it was someone else and he ran out of them chicken tenders, they would have been like, you're so stupid. I can't believe you guys don't have any chicken tenders. Why aren't there any chicken tenders? I hate it here. Get a manager. I want chicken tenders. And it's like, what am I going to do if they run out of chicken tenders? Like, what am I going to do? Like, what am I going to do? Bring the chicken to the back and cut it up and bread it and fry it? Right? And like, what am I going to do? Like, I was just like, yeah, it's okay. Like, maybe for some that's like, oh no, they should have it. But I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, most of the time when situations demand that you be kind, that you be understanding, that you have some self-control, there's almost nothing that you can do. Like, it takes a lot to get me to like 38. It takes me a lot to get me up there because it's like, I'm just like, okay, well, what are we going to do? Like, it's not really something that I can control. So what am I going to fret about? If it's something that I can control, then that's different. But what can I do? But he was just like, thank you for being so kind. And I'm like, kind? I feel bad for you because who would have cursed you out over some chicken tenders because y'all ran out. But some people would have cursed that man out. Poor guy. Shout out to him. He was very, very nice. Some people would have been like, oh, we're out of chicken tenders with no solution. But he actually was like, yo, like we could substitute it. I'll give you a little extra, great customer service on that front. But yeah, you never know what someone is going through. You never know what someone is going through. And to go and just be the person that makes it even worse. For shame, for shame, for shame. And people are like, oh yeah, they go in there, they're this whole other person on this app cursing people out and calling this one that and calling this one that, and they go about their day and then wonder why nothing can ever go right for them. Yeah, that's called karma, babes. And in a better way, it's called reaping what you sow. Are we just out here, being sick in the mind and being poisonous to others and thinking things are going to go right? And then some people are like, oh my God, like, why can nothing good ever happen to me? Check what you're doing to others. Let's go right there. I'm going to be real with y'all. I'm going to be real because I want y'all to keep it real with me. Check what you're doing to others. For real. For real, because what you sow into the ground and you water with a full heart will come back to you. If you are sowing evil seeds, don't be surprised if that's what you're reaping. Straight up. 10 toes, toenails in the sand. Don't be surprised. Like, let's be really for real here. And I tried not to get caught up in the whole internet thing, because at the end of the day, let me tell you something. If that electrical panel or an employee gets angry or something happens, and granted, they probably have a bunch of override codes and secret passwords and, a whole bunch of, you got to do a biometric eye scan. If someone ever decides to go delete Instagram or delete Twitter or delete TikTok with whatever, that's gone. I mean, it's not a real place. It's really not a real place. We give so much power to things that really don't mean anything. I mean, that's crazy. We give so much power to things that don't mean anything. I saw a video from a TikTok creator and she said, money isn't even real. I said, I'm like, wait a second. She's actually kind of right. Money isn't even real. Yeah, we all work for it. Yes, you need it to survive. But money really is not real. It's because we have given it value. But hypothetically speaking, if we all as a collective decided that money meant absolutely nothing, as a human race, money meant absolutely nothing, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Benjamin Franklin, and we all said, and those are just American currencies, of course, but we all said, oh, this doesn't matter, it would mean absolutely nothing. Like, we couldn't even use it to buy something because it has no value. So that kind of just puts things into perspective. Like, really and truly, you have to be cognizant of the things that you place your value in. Because some of the stuff that we place excessive value in isn't even real. Like, let's be for real. None of us are making it out alive. Sorry. Did anybody tell you that today? None of us are making it out alive. Like, life is like a vapor, here today and gone tomorrow. In case anybody didn't tell you that. Like, nothing is promised. Tomorrow isn't promised. So it's important to be cognizant of the things that you place value on. That just goes to say it's so important to keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes open and be actually in touch with your reality. Be very in touch with your reality. The internet is not a real place. For some people, the internet isn't even a thing. They don't have Instagram. They don't have Twitter. They don't have Snapchat. I barely even use Snapchat. They don't have TikTok. They don't have YouTube. They don't have these things. They're just living life. They're literally just living life. It's not a real place. For some people, the internet is a getaway. It's like an escape. Like their life is crappy, so they're gonna go on the internet and they're gonna be user techie boy 30697 and tell someone to go kill themselves. Are you sick? Or they're gonna be lollygag loves Elmo and go call someone a whore, or they're this and they're that. It's are you okay? Are you okay? Cause something isn't clicking. What is I'm like, some of y'all would never say this with your ID picture and your full government name. So why would you say it with a fake username? Check your heart check. Heart check, babes. Crazy. I mean, that was just crazy. That just really inspired me. Maybe I'll put the comment. Probably I'm not going to put the comment because I don't even want to perpetuate any negativity. But that just goes to say, be careful what you say. Like, the internet is not a real place. Even if you sowing seeds on a technological app, those seeds will sprout and grow in your real life. Now, don't forget that. Cause wait a minute, hold on a second. Don't be surprised. What comes around goes around. But that's what I really had to say about that. Be in touch with your real life. Sometimes log out of socials for a weekend, maybe even a day. Go out. Go and take a walk. Go to the beach. Oh my gosh, going to the beach is so therapeutic. Granted, some of us don't have access to a beach, but maybe go to like where some creeks are, or a river. Go take a walk. Log out of them apps. Get off TikTok, especially TikTok. TikTok has a chokehold. I mean, during the pandemic is when I really discovered TikTok. And when I tell you I would scroll for hours, that little boy would come and say, "Oh, you've been scrolling for hours now. Go outside and get some sunlight." We couldn't go nowhere because Corona was walking on the streets like, patrolling. We couldn't go nowhere. So TikTok is the only friend that I had. But dang. Now, as the pandemic is waning down, people are more active and getting out. Go smell some fresh air. Smell some, not H2O, that's water. Go smell some CO2, carbon dioxide. I don't know. I'm not a chemist. But go and get some oxygen. Go do that. Because, what? Get out of the house. And for the people who work from home, get out of the house. Get off these apps. It's not real life. This is a phone. If all the electricity is gone, that's it. They're going to have rocks and swings. Going to be making fires and roasting s'mores for fun. Because what is happening? Be present. Be very present with your life. I know it feels like in this society, in this age, it's very technological. But it's really not real. The only thing that is real is what is sustainable. In alternate realities, on apps, on phones, where you can create a username, delete it today, reactivate it tomorrow, not sustainable. Just saying. So that concludes this week's episode. Again, this is part 2 of the solo series. You already know where to find us. You can find us at the Something Else Podcast on Instagram, on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and anywhere else you get your podcasts. My name is Gabriella, of course, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.